Alright, today we're going to look at Y-5 Finance. You're looking at the main webpage here right now. You'll notice if you go to the Y5.finance webpage that they do have a few of the links at the top that are not working. The Launchpad, staking have not been released yet. If you click on those, they just send you back to the main page. But the DAO, the news, the teams, socials, and the dashboard all work should you have tokens. The dashboard is where you want to go. It will show you the rewards that you're getting and you have earned. It also takes you to the exchange as well, which you can either swap your tokens or you can go to the exchange, which Y5 has now 10 DeFi tokens that are listed on their exchange, including some of the main big ones as well. You can trade for or exchange like Bitcoin or Ethereum, and you can continue on as they've been adding these lately. They've only been running for about 10 days now, I think, with the exchange, and they've added all these tokens on. It's been a little bit of a lull the last couple days, not having as many tokens being added, but they vet all the tokens that go on the exchange. So this means that none will be listed that they don't believe are viable, have a good project plan, and should not be listed, for those projects that may not be as high quality. So the vetting process is important. Then you know that you have a little bit extra reassurance by the tokens that are listed on the Y5 exchange, and you can buy with a little more confidence than some other tokens in other exchanges where they just pay to be listed and you get what you get. So what do you get when you actually purchase Y5 tokens? It gives you 13% BUSD rewards automatically back into your wallet. This is a fairly high level. There are some tokens that have 5-8% BUSD rewards. Others that go as high as 15%. Also, with the 20% tax that you will pay on any of your buy or sell, there's also a 4% buyback that goes into an automatic liquidity pool, and we also have other pieces of the puzzle as well. They continue to do buyback and burns, also with the new exchange that I've mentioned earlier. The information or the money that they make from that, the profits that they take, will be used for extra additional buyback and burn within the first 10 days. They're almost burning 1 trillion tokens overall, which is a fairly decent amount, and that will only grow over time as the volume of the exchange increases. So what else do you get from the Y5 token? They're coming along with a Launchpad, which is coming out pretty soon. They're actually accepting applications for the Launchpad currently. As I mentioned earlier, it's not available quite yet, but this is another one of the utilities that it's going to be coming out shortly. They're also planning on staking your Y5 tokens against major BSC tokens to earn, passive rewards. They have listed 10 tokens that will be available for staking that we can get into a little bit later and have a discussion around. You'll be able to stake those. They have discussions around creating their own blockchain. They also have as well pieces of farming that will be coming along in the future. So they have a lot of utilities that are being created by this token, and it's one of the reasons why I'm very interested in following, and I have purchased quite a few tokens as my own personal investment. So I am invested in this project, and it's one that I do believe in, and I'm looking forward to it coming down in the future, and these utilities are just starting to drop, and there should be some upward pressure on the prices as we move forward and have a lot more volume from the utilities that are being generated. Now, just to cover the exchange in a little more detail, as it is the one utility that Y5 has launched at this point, as I mentioned, they have a number of tokens that are available. You can get your BUSD, the Binance Smart Chain Peg Dollar, USDT Tether, as well another fixed peg coin, BNB. Y5 itself, of course, is available. Bitcoin and Ethereum, as I mentioned, XRP, Dodge, and Shiba are also some of the main tokens that you can currently buy on there. The DeFi tokens that they have available, Glow version 2, BUSD Buffet, Dive Wallet token, Lycan, DFSM, Rematic, EGC, Dolocoin is on there. Ever Reflect, the Nobility token, and BUSDX are the 10 DeFi tokens that they have available right now. And as I mentioned, they did have, according to their Discord channel, around 41 applications was a number that I had seen on there, and 10 of these tokens have actually made the cut and made it on. There may be more still in the queue to be reviewed. As I mentioned, it's been a couple days lull in new tokens being added, but the very first day of the exchange, they put on 2 tokens, and the following day, within about 36 hours of it opening up, they had 4 tokens on there. So there was an initial flurry of approvals coming out of the gate. I have not heard specifically what happened to the other 31 tokens that of the number that I'd heard. If they didn't make the cut, or they're still waiting in the queue to be approved. So this is exciting as they do some volume, and we're getting Twitter from the CEO Bradley, who does AMAs for Y-5 on the amount of tokens that they actually have being burned due to the volume from the exchange. As I mentioned, that number is close to 1 trillion now over the first 10 days, and that'll only increase as the volume of the exchange gets utilized even more and more. People utilize it, and that just will reduce the supply of tokens available. One thing that I did not mention earlier, this is a 1 quadrillion token, and 300 trillion of the tokens were burned at the start. So, there's a fairly large supply of tokens available, and the utilities as they go, and this buyback and burn through the utilities will provide more and more BUSD back to those individuals that are still holding. One other thing that's coming up, as I mentioned as well, with the staking that's going on, I know as a holder from the start, there's going to be an airdrop for long-term holders, which are coming out, which will be very beneficial. It's still yet to see what this will do to the price, as this is a $100 trillion airdrop that's going to be coming out when they do, list the staking kind of portion of the utility, which is kind of expected here in Q2, early on in Q2, from indications that I've seen. Now it's hopeful that that there's not a whole lot of sell-off pressure, but there may be a lot of downward pressure due to these new tokens being available, and people may sell off. And it's hard to say, not financial advice, of course, but there from other tokens that you've seen, Rhematic ECG, when they had a vesting period, and every 14 days people would get another 10% of their tokens. There was a big sell-off. So there's a lot of people that have been waiting for this. For me as an investor, buys and the price going up are always nice. Sells, I make my 13% in BUSD rewards either way. So people want to take some profit and move on, that's fine. For me, I'm just looking forward to the extra tokens, and that will drive up the BUSD that we get. But there may be some some good volume coming out of that, and the recent exchange actually has pushed up the volume to some more reasonable levels. It was quite low, and that's all from the overall market. There's been just a downturn in all the reflective tokens that I hold. I've seen a low volume, and Y-5 was not immune to that. Now that they have a utility, you've seen it's gone up from 30, 40, 50K down to, it seems to be holding more at 100K plus volume a day. And, initially when the exchange came out, it pumped up to, maybe 250, almost 300K for the day. So it's, it's seeing some good movement on this. And as I mentioned, the launch pad coming out next should drive this volume even more, and we'll maybe cover that in another episode beyond this. But I'd like to thank everybody for following along. I'll be covering more on Y-5 and getting into more detail about a few of the utilities that are upcoming, some of the news that's going on, and I'll be covering a few of the other tokens that I also hold going forward.